Good morning. It's Ginny and Dave, and we're
morning.
just talking about broken computers today. So nothing super fancy, nothing super technical.
Nope. We're not going to take a deep dive into this.
No
but
deep dives, and we might not even talk about passwords today. Imagine that.
Well, maybe.
But sign up for our newsletter. You'll find, this idea came from one of our blog articles, and it has good information in it. It was in our newsletter. So sign up.
So we're going to discuss,
What to
broken
do.
computer, which can mean many different things.
Yeah.
From you simply can't open up, you can't get online to, it's on fire and it's really, or it's broken in half. But the one thing we have to we're going to suggest here is what to do, some steps. But unfortunately, for most of our viewers, we don't do bench work for home user stuff anymore.
We don't.
So
it's only for our clients.
It's only for our clients, but these are for your home use computers. We can give you some tips here.
Absolutely. So number one, pick a provider you trust. But
right.
I know in our area it's kind of hard because we have
limited
choices,
yeah.
and they come and go.
Right.
So I suggested that maybe you use Google reviews.
Yep.
People do leave reviews on those pages, and if you look on Facebook, if they have a page,
yes,
people will comment on there and give their testimonials,
or just put on Facebook, hey, I'm looking for someone to work on my computer. Look for a recommendation.
Yeah.
If from what I see on Facebook, everyone has an opinion. They're happy to tell you.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
who should and shouldn't work on your computer, among other things.
Right.
It might be your washing machine or your car or something else. But
my husband actually fixed our washing machine. That's crazy. But anyway, you do it yourself. You watched a YouTube video.
Yeah.
But of course, he's an electrician,
so pick someone you trust.
Yeah.
And get, it's like anything else. Get recommendations. Do a little bit of research.
Yeah.
Now you can always check with your manufacturer too. You might have if it's a newer device, it should be under warranty.
If it's under warranty, you can. If it like Dell, support.dell.com. If you go there and put in your tag number, you can open up a case and work with them yourself.
Yep.
They will definitely. I think there's even a chat.
Yes, and even if it's out of warranty,
you
might have to pay for it, but you're going to pay for it anyway. So
true. Okay. Now, I wanted to skip to this point that Dave made before we became on live. I was like, wait, we should be recording this. Is when it's an error message on your screen.
Yes.
Read it. How often do we just start clicking and and tapping on our phones or whatever? But if there's an error message, sometimes it tells you exactly what you got to do.
Right.
Right.
And my saying is deal with the problem as it presents itself. So read the thing and don't say, oh, that's not it, and close it and think it's got to be something else. Those error messages are generally pretty detailed.
They are.
You can use them to search, Google or whoever. And,
take a screenshot of it, write it down word for word, and then actually type in those words when you're Googling it.
Error codes.
Yeah.
They can be helpful, especially if your device is under warranty, and you get an error code and you put it into your manufacturer's website and say, hey, this is what error code I got. And they'll say, oh, yeah, it's broke.
This is what it is.
We're going to send you a new,
perfect.
With whatever it is. So.
I'm guilty too, by the way, because when I'm at work and I'll be working on something and I'm like, get this error message, and I just keep going because I'm trying to get this done, right? And
the first thing you do.
And then I open a ticket with the software person.
Yep.
And they're like, oh, you got to click this and vote this, and it's telling you this. And I'm like, oh, yeah, I didn't read it.
What is it?
So
something about
it's kind of funny that we do that.
Yeah.
But definitely read the message.
Yep.
So we talked about this last week.
Always.
On National Backup Day.
Yep. Have a backup. Maintain your data.
Yeah.
Back it up 2 places if possible.
If your hard drive is failing, I don't know.
Yep.
As a personal computer user, all of my pictures and I take more and more of them with my phone now. But all of my pictures back up to Amazon Prime, unlimited storage.
Yep.
So,
Good idea.
yeah, kind of funny that we want backups of our pictures, hey? Because back in the day, we had our negatives,
Yep.
and those would go bad. We didn't have backups of our pictures. Isn't that kind of funny?
Yeah. I remember bringing film in,
Yeah.
right, 35 millimeter film, and getting duplicate prints so I could give one away, like especially like say my daughter's sports events or whatever. Give, hey, look at here's your daughter, you know.
Aw,
So,
you're
yeah.
such a nice. So, if possible, if you do have to bring it somewhere, remove your personal data, your protected data, passwords, if you have them on there, right?
Yep. These last two, backups and remove your personal data, especially if you're sending it in.
Yeah.
We've heard when we've experienced horror stories about people sending a computer in to have something fixed mechanically that's not anything to do with the data, and they've wiped and reloaded the computer and all the data's gone.
Yeah.
When it was actually, like a network card or some other, RAM or something that should not have affected the data on the hard drive. So you're responsible. Don't trust anyone else. So back up your data and protect your personal data, because you don't know where that thing's going.
Now, before DS Tech got, more into taking care of our business clients, when we used to fix computers,
Yeah.
this came up a lot, where the customer would be like, they have Microsoft Office and they wouldn't have the key.
Right.
And we're like, well, we can't reinstall it without the key.
Yep.
So
many other, a lot of programs.
And I've had that happen when I'm moving from an old computer to a new computer. I'm like, oh crap, I don't have that key anymore because it's old software, but yet I still use it. So
well, way back it was a little more easy because you had a disk.
Yeah, now it's all electronic.
Now you download it all, and it's like
it's in my email archive,
which I can't get in on my computer because my
right?
computer crashed. So those are the kind of things you need to
organize, find a spot, keep.
Yep.
I don't know.
Save the documents, create documents, and save them.
Print them off, maybe, and put them in a file, in a file cabinet, something.
Mm-hmm.
Just in case, make your device accessible, because they can sometimes fix these things remotely.
Yes. We do that. Our techs do it all day, every day. We log in remotely to computers across the street or across the UP to work on it. So again, this is something you need to be careful with. Make sure it's someone you trust who's remoting into your computer, not someone who claims there's a virus on your computer.
Yeah, absolutely not. Do not call those numbers.
And Microsoft doesn't care.
Yeah, Microsoft is not going to remote into your computer.
No.
And
they're not going to ask for a gift card for payment. So,
no.
Couple flags there on the.
Yeah.
So anyway, make your device easily accessible. Write down. This is one of the things here. They touch on this again, is write down the error message.
Yeah.
So they can look at it.
Yeah.
Okay.
So sometimes it's pays off to get them fixed. Sometimes it pays off to just get a new computer.
Yep.
I mean, especially with the way things move these days, if your computer is 3 years old or older,
yep,
it's
kind of left in the dust.
Yeah, it's kind of time to upgrade anyway.
And
so,
in recent years, I've seen the prices of computers, like everything else, go up a little bit. There was a time, and still to this day, I'm sure you can buy like a desktop or a laptop computer for relatively cheap.
Yeah, right now the prices aren't that great.
Yeah, if you really look hard.
I fixed my screen, so
yep.
For that reason, because it was only $75, and I'm like,
right. It's like anything. It's an electrical mechanical device that can break.
Yeah. I
had to explain to a woman many years ago, her hard drive failed, and I said, well, it's it's an electromechanical device, and they can fail. And she goes, oh, like my transmission on my car? And I said,
yeah,
exactly.
Yeah.
So do you want to pay $2,000 to fix your transmission on a car that's only worth $3,000?
Yeah.
So that you have to make a decision and figure out if it's.
It depends on what it is too. If it's just RAM or a hard drive, and
right.
In this case, I mean, screens are kind of hard to replace. If you have to hire somebody that had to take the whole thing apart, but
But it
You
still
don't wanna-
works.
It still works,
We're using this computer right now.
right? Isn't that crazy? I can't believe I actually did it. So believe in yourself.
So always
no.
Google search your problems.
Yes.
It's a great tool.
Yep. Write down the errors.
Yep. And plug it into a Google search.
Have a backup.
Have a backup. Be ready to pay someone to fix it, because knowledge, you know, they're going to pay for their ability and knowledge.
Yep.
And have your backup, not just your software, but your personal data and your software keys.
Funny you said that, because a story popped into my head, and I think Tony Robbins told it. It's like this whole manufacturing plant is like down, right? They're not running. They're not creating product. I mean, and they're losing millions a day by not making the product, whatever it was. And they hired this guy to come in and look at what was wrong. And he comes in, looks around, asks a couple questions, walks over and turns this little screw somewhere. One screw.
Yeah.
And gave him a bill for thousands of dollars, right?
Right.
And the owner's like, well, why did it cost so much for you to turn that screw? He says, well, you're paying for me knowing which screw to turn.
Yep.
So
for knowing what to do.
Yeah, and it's the years of experience behind that. Yeah.
There was a book I read many years ago too. It was the same thing. These people were sailing and their sailboat tipped over, and someone came along and said, "Can you help us?" And he goes, "Sure." He goes, "It'll be $50." And he goes, "All right." And so the guy basically just like boom and uprighted their sailboat in 2 seconds. And he goes, "Well, that's not worth $50." He goes, "Well, doing it's not worth $50, but knowing how to is worth $50."
Yeah.
So that's what it is.
Absolutely.
So, and it's not rocket science. You know, Google will give you some tips. You can find YouTube videos on how to do anything.
Yeah.
You know, computer related.
Yep. And if it's over your head, then it's time to bring it.
Yep.
Or get a new one, right? So good stuff, Dave. Thank you for coming, and we'll see you around. Drop your questions and sign up for our newsletter.
Always.
All right. See you later.
All right. Bye.